We are live. I'm so glad you guys could make it. This is the time of the year where people have so many commitments, and many others don't want to do anything else other than rest and relax and rejuvenate. Today, I have a treat for you. I'm going to talk about my systems. And this is something I go through them again this time of the year, particularly. I have created a planner which I update every year to make it compatible with the weeks and the months of the year. And I have published it on Amazon. I'll talk about it later. I'm not working all the time this week. This is my resting week, but this is one thing I definitely do each year. I have been writing since 2019. I've been writing books and I've been writing online newsletters, my website, and LinkedIn and many other places, Medium as well. And for the first 3 years, I had no idea how to manage my workload. I was so stressed, burnout. I was doing everything I wanted to do, but in a haphazard manner. And that was leaving me very stressed. It was around the end of 2021, I realized I needed systems if I wanted to continue at this pace. And if I wanted to really produce some work which is useful, I need to create some system for myself. And I started doing that. By the time I finished, I was documenting everything. I was talking about those in my articles as well. I realized all this need to be written down in the form of a book. So I wrote, if you ask me, of all the 8 books I've written, this is my favorite book because it single handedly gave me so much leverage. The system I used and the system I have embedded in my writing career. I'm going to talk about this book today. And the other thing I'm going to talk about is my bullet journal, author planner and bullet journal. It is a sister publication to this one, they go hand in hand. And I'm going to talk about both of these today. So, in this book, I have laid down 4 levels of productivity. So I realize you need to be productive at 4 levels. So when you're a beginner, you're starting at level 1, and then you add level 2, level 3, level 4. You might have some systems in place here and there, but looking at the productivity at these levels have helped me understand it and implement it better. In the opening of the book, I talk about what is productivity, how come we have become obsessed with productivity, and how Ben Franklin was the first one who actually sold productivity to us. It used to be an industrial term where they would measure the time it takes by a worker to do a task and the money they needed to pay him. They created a unit, productivity unit, and they were trying like that. It used to be a term used by the organizations and the industry, and all of a sudden now productivity has become an individual goal because of knowledge workers. So we all are knowledge workers who are writers, and many white collar jobs in organization, etc., are knowledge workers. So now we need to be productive. We need to get more out of our time because everyone has got a limited time, and the only way to be able to do that is by having systems in place. So, having said all that, I have 4 levels. Level 1 is general operational management systems. Level 2 is my task management systems. Level 3 is the knowledge management systems. And level 4 is the writing process enhancement systems. So I'll talk to you as much as I could, but I would really suggest you get my book. It's available on Amazon. Just type my name and the name of the book, and you will reach it. It's not very expensive. So it's something you should aim to get and read in detail. For a long time, my only productivity system was to do lists. I will write down what I needed to do as I remember on a piece of paper, not even in a diary. I just write it on a piece of paper, and then I will try and cross it off if I could find a piece of paper. Most of the work is done mentally, where I try to remember I need to do this and this and this. That had to change. And for that, I tried many things. Eventually, I ended on an analog system, which is my planner and bullet journal, where I say journal operational management system. I have four things. Number one is the calendar, my calendar, and I'll talk to you about it. Number two is my email management system. Number three is my file management system. And number four is the technology management system. So, what's in calendar? So, as I said, previously I used to have to-do lists. So, anything, any commitment I have, anything I needed to do in that day or a week, I'll write it down on a piece of paper. It became very hard to keep track of piece of papers because I wasn't very good at keeping them at one place. So they would travel. They will either in my handbag or my bedside table or wherever I will leave them. I realized the only way it could be sustainable and it could work is by having a calendar. So I put all my commitments now in my calendar, not the to do list, but if I have a birthday party to go to, if I have a deadline for my book, if I have a launch I'm planning for my product or a book, everything I put it down in my calendar. That way I know where those things are and how much time I need to devote to them so that I don't overcommit myself. Holidays goes in there as well. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday are my newsletter writing days. So those go in there. Tuesdays are my live days. Fridays are my workshop days. So all these things are already slotted. I normally do it in 3 months period. I also have a separate calendar, which is in Google Sheets, which I use for my content planning. That's my content calendar. And I plan that in 3 months periods as well. I can share that with you. The template of that, it's been very useful. I have shared it with my paid subscribers and they love it. If you subscribe to Author Circle and in today's post, you will get the link to that calendar for free. So that is the calendar. Next thing is the email management system. So I like to have zero inbox. I did a course, an $800 worth of course with Tiago Forte, in which he taught all that. And I implemented practically everything he taught in that course. So in the email inbox, archive all your email just with one click. Create an inbox two, put all your emails in there. And then after that, every day, clear your emails. If something needs to be actioned upon and it can be done within 2 minutes, do it. Otherwise, put it in your task list. If something you're keeping for reading, put it into your reading folder. I have a app for that, but you can do it whichever way you have set it up. In this book, I talk about that app, Read It Later app. I talk about it in this book. You can read it over there. If any subscription I am not reading in the future, I get rid of it. I unsubscribe. And I have folders within my emails. So anything I needed to save goes in those folders. So system described in detail in this book. So my email inbox runs on zero email most of the time. Also, every end of the week, I make sure everything is acted upon from those emails. Every month, I clean up. So there is end of week tasks I have, and there is end of month tasks I have, and one of them is cleaning up my emails. And I have 4 email accounts, so you can understand how much work there is. But as long as I keep on doing it, they are not a cause of stress for me. They are actually smooth, and they give me the mental space I need to devote it to my creativity. So that's the email system. Number three is the file management system. Okay. How many of you have got so many files on your computer that you have no idea where the things are when you need it? That used to happen to me all the time. I know I had saved it somewhere, I had a system, but it wasn't working very well. I learned this system. Sal say I did that too at my work, Neera, but somehow haven't implemented it in my personal life. Yes, our personal life is now our work, so we got to do it. I learned a system. It's called Para system. It has only 4 folders. So at the primary level in my file management, only have 4 folders. They're called project, area, resources, and archives. In the project folder, I only have those folders on which I am currently working on. For example, if I'm writing a book and I have a folder for that book, that stays in the project folder. If I'm working on the Substack articles and there's a folder for that, that will stay in there. So everything which I'm currently working on is in the project folder. Next is yes. These are the areas of interest about which I am saving information. For example, for me, it could be recipes or it could be the sketching for diagrams I have been saving. They stay in there. So anything you are interested in, you put in there. R is for resources. So all the resources I have for my writing, for my other hobbies, or for my other work. For example, if I'm looking at a Kickstarter project and I'm collecting information for that, I'll be keeping it in the resources folder. So when I start that project, I'll put that resources folder in the project folder. So I'll move the folder in there. And last one is the archive. Archive is all the inactive information which I still want to keep out of these three project areas and resources into the archives. So anything inactive goes in the archive folder. So that way, that's the 4 top level folders. Then within each area, I try to keep the number of folders. So more folders you have, harder it becomes to find things. So my number of folders in the second level is also going to be 4 only. And then in the third level, I could have a bit more folders. For example, I have a sketching folder. So within sketches folder, I have a sketches for Substack, sketches for my books, and sketches I'm creating. So that's how I keep the number of folder, and I know the system. So I know exactly where to go to find the things I'm looking for. So that is about the file management system. And number 4, the last one in this level 1 is technology. So previously I had a Windows computer and an iPhone and an iPad. I will make sketches in the iPad, email them to myself in the Windows, and then get the image from there and put it on my newsletter. That was time consuming. And there was many other things. Photos, I had to do the same thing. I would take a photo with my iPhone and then email myself a photo which I needed to use in my writing or in my newsletter. Since then, about 4 years ago, I bought an Mac. I learned Mac, and now all my system are synced. If I write a note on my iPhone, that note is available on my iPad as well as on my Mac. So I have streamlined my technology, and I can't tell you enough how much time saver and stress saver it has been. So that's the level 1. Level 2 is the task management system. And this is my whole task management system in this book, in this journal. And it is the journal which I have created because there were so many things I have tried before. They were not working, particularly the digital systems, because I used to forget where I had. So eventually I have settled on an analog system, and how it works for me, I'm going to show it to you. It's got many areas. It starts with my goals for the year. And I used to have yearly goals. Not anymore. I have now life goals. My goals are so fluid. The only thing I do every year is I got to go in there and I check whether they are still relevant or not. Anything is not relevant, I take it off. Anything new I want to add, which I haven't for last 4 years. So I write goals in 3 categories: growth, experience, and contribution. In growth, I write the goals. What do I want to learn? Where do I want to grow? Which areas of my life I want to grow and how? I have a huge article written on it. I can share it in my post today as well. So you can go and read that. What experiences I want to gain. Third is about the what contribution I want to make in this world. So that's all three areas covered. I don't have them handy with me. Otherwise, I would have read some of them to you, but I'll include that in today's newsletter. So from goals, it goes down to when I have written the goals, then I have business plan. So I have devoted pages in this journal for the business plan, which has got all the relative areas which an author business plan should include. For example, my business strategy, my brand, my niche, my revenue model, and my books, what books I'm going to write and release this year, the one which I know, then I leave space for the new ones which I will think of during the year, the courses which I will run, the publishing website, what I'll be doing with my website, and the obstacles and the resources, all that. So it's all covered in this business plan. It's a 4 pages devoted to business plan in this journal. From the business plan, it moves on to the project plans. So anything which requires more is a project for me. And I write a simple project, 1 page project plan for that with just the project name, start date, end date, main milestone, obstacles, and resources. So once I have done that, then I know I have a plan now. I need to act on that. It's not just get the things from here and there and just work on that and halfway through lose the motivation and don't do it. No, my project plans are my guide and they help me go through the project. And they are all in one planner, so it's much easier to go through it. After that, I have a future log space for every month. So, what is the main thing I want to achieve in that month? So, if I am running a course in a certain month, I write it down. For example, between January and February, I'm running a cohort course. So, it goes in there. Then the next one will be coming later in the month. It will go in there. I'm launching a book in March, that goes in there. So this is how I plan and slot things through the year in that future law. That goes whatever I knows on basis. As I know more things during the year, I keep sorting there so that I know 1 month is not too heavy and the other month I haven't got nothing planned. I know there is some space in there that I can work on that. So that was from year to months. Now we are coming down to weeks. So this is the specialty of my system. So in this system, if you can see it correctly, I have a week here and then I have days right opposite that page. So this is what I do. On the top of here is the to-do list. Anything I remember or I'm thinking of doing in that week goes in this column. No particular order. Once I have things written here, and as I remember during the week, I keep on writing there. Then I move them on to the days, which day I'm going to do that. My days have got only a place for 6 items. I have learned the Ivy method. There's a guy called Ivy. He was a person whom Charles Schwab hired in 1918 to improve the productivity of his people. And he came up with this one suggestion that people only do 6 things in their day, nothing more, nothing less. I slot only things to do every day and one of them is my top task of the day. I must do that task come what may. All others can be abandoned if that one is not done. So that is my most important task of the day. And what happens? This is my philosophy. If you do your one most important task of the day, at the end of the year, you have done 365 most important tasks. That is a lot. And once you have done your most important task, I have found that I am actually more productive after that because my brain space is free. I can do other tasks much quicker. And not all of the tasks take so much time. So, for example, today's most important task for me is to do this live and then publish this live in my newsletter. This is done, I'm free after that. Of course, there are a few little tasks there, but that I will do in a jiffy. So that is how I operate basically. I write down all the things which I remember doing on here, then slot them in the day of the week I'm going to do them, and the things which are planned, for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, my articles, my newsletter goes in there as well, my workshop go in there, and all those things go in there. Anything which doesn't get done during the week get transferred to the next week. And all I do is put a little tick, if you can see it here, put a little tick in front of it that I have done it. Then there are other important areas in this page. By the way, on Saturday and Sunday, only three things, no more than that. And I have two more areas in here, which is ideas and achievements. So any new idea I get, before I lose it, I write it down in this page. So there's every week, two or three ideas do pop up and I write them down. Some of them are worth pursuing. So as I realize that, I'll put them as a task, or maybe if it is a bigger idea, as a project, and then they go from there. Then I also note down what I actually achieved in that week in a little column over here. Just two or three or four are enough because at the end of each month and then at the end of each year, I keep a tab of things I have achieved. That gives me so much motivation to do more. When I realize I haven't done anything worthwhile I could be proud of, that puts me down, and I then need to put or get more aligned with my goals, get more aligned with my energy. One thing I want to mention to you guys, I'm not that productive all year round because if you remember, I take 2 months vacation every 3 months. So last year, I was on vacation for almost 6 months of the year. And during vacation, I don't do much. I only read and we travel a lot, me and my husband. So all these things are on the months when I'm working, when I'm here at home, I'm following this system. When I'm on vacation, I'm totally on vacation. So this thing you need to understand. I'm not saying to do this all year round. Put your vacations in and don't feel guilty for taking them because they energize you more than anything else. So after that, in this planner, I have many pages dedicated to different things, which helps you assess how your year is going. But most importantly, what I have in here is a trackers. These habit trackers are simply boxes in which you put a cross. For example, I'm monitoring my walking days and I've been trying to put walking every day into my schedule. It's not happening. So I'm monitoring how many days a week I'm walking. So if I could put cross in there, I feel good that at least 3 days a week I have done the walk this month. So if I have done 20 days of walking in a month, feels good. But idea is to be able to do it every single day. So I have got habit trackers in there as well. So that was level 2 of productivity. Now let's talk shortly about the level 3 for productivity is the knowledge management system. Some people call it second brain, some people call it notes taking. It's a different things, but I call it knowledge management system, and I use an app called Obsidian for that. I have collected so much material from years of reading and writing. And that's how I write my books. That's how I write my articles because all that is sitting in a easily searchable database called Obsidian. There are many other in the market. You can look whichever suits you. I can talk more about it in future if you want me to, because this is a subject I loved. And I have attended Tiago Forte's The Second Brain cohort training, and this is where I have streamlined my system. So that system has got four parts. You capture the information or capture whatever you have read and it resonated with you. You organize it, then you distill from it in your word, in your thinking, and then you express it. And that's how I use whatever I have learned in my own words, in my own writing. So that system is extremely important for writers. You got to keep doing that over a period of time. Initially, it takes a while to set it up, but once you set up the system, it becomes second nature and it's extremely important for your writing career. And my last system is writing process enhancement systems. I am one of those person who used to take 2 to 3 hours to write a paragraph. My earlier posts were painstakingly slow. Sometimes I'd spend whole day on one single post. Now I do it in half an hour or 1 hour max. How? Because I have few systems mentioned in this book, but two I will share it with you right now. One of them is I work in 15 minutes interval, literally with a timer. So I raise the clock to write as much as I can in that 15 minutes. And then once I've done that, put the clock back on and do another 15 minutes. So if I have 1 hour available to me, I'll do four of those 15 minutes. If I only have 15 minutes available, I'll do the only 15 minutes. So I never work at a longer stretch. I see every stretch as a 15-minute interval. And that is the Pomodoro technique, which is for about 25 minutes or something. I have reduced it down to 15 minutes. The second technique I use is called cyclic writing. I learned it from, I think his name is Don something. He's a fiction writer. I'm really bad with names at the moment. So I learned it from him. And his technique is you don't write and add it later on because that slows you down. And this is what I used to do. I'll write something really bad draft, then I'll come back into it after a couple of days or even later in the day. And it used to be a pain to edit it and would take a long time. His technique is that you write a chunk, whether it's 500 words for you or 700 words for you, and for me, it's 15 minutes. Then you spend 5 minutes going through it and cleaning it up, and you're done. You don't need to do any more editing. And that is called cyclic writing. So he would say you go into cycle of 500 words, edit, 500 words, edit, 500 words, edit, and you're done a chapter or you're done a article or whatever piece you're writing. And that's exactly what I do. I don't spend too much time on editing now. At the most, if I need something refined, I feed it to ChatGPT and just say, edit for grammar and spellings. That's all. And I don't let it write it over my writing. I have burned my fingers a couple of times when it wrote over my stuff and made it sound so AI. So this is how I write now. So that is the four levels of productivity systems for me. They're all in there, and the journal is there, and they're available on Amazon. If you search by my name and then look for the books I have over there, you can find them there. This book is very easy to find. And this journal, I realized that there are so many journals over there. It's hard. If you search it by my name, you'll be able to find it easily. I suggest you get it and give it a go. Initially, it might take you more time to implement them, but as you cement them into your daily processes, you will find a lot of productivity gain and less stress. I've gone over, guys, but I'll still take some questions. If there is any questions, I would love to help you with those. I'm so glad there's 31 people who have joined me today. That's amazing. Any questions? No? If there is no questions, I'll take your leave and very happy new year. We are already on 31st of December here in Australia. You guys will be reaching there pretty soon, and we will be in the new year less than 24 hours then. Have a great one, guys, and thank you very much for attending. Bye.